All right, live look now at what started to break last hour and turned into a riot, and federal agents had to get involved heavily. Non-lethal pushback on this group, but pepper balls and a heavy amount of tear gas. Our reporter Mike Tobin was on the air with me just a little while ago telling me what materials they were using, and people were not really dispersing. They were hanging in there, if you will, and shouting things like Nazis at the federal agents. Now, that's not a crime. That's, that's protected by free speech. They can sound hateful if they want to. But when you physically press against people, you've gone now from that zone of peaceful protesting to really crossing the line and endangering lives against the people you're pushing. So they are now throughout the neighborhood. On the left, you see the line is being held. That's the live look. The moments ago, that's part of what's been happening. And I just want to point out, you can see some residential markings just off the campus of this Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility. That's where this broke out. So this is kind of furthering the problems that we're having at ICE facilities with people showing up and things getting out of hand. And we've seen even Democrat lawmakers get caught in this. Like, we know Congresswoman MacIver has a trial coming up for showing up at the ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey, and getting handsy and throwing elbows and getting physical with those federal agents. If she's found guilty of the charges against her, she faces 17 years behind bars. This is serious. And that line is still needed because those people have not left. So we're watching that. Scenes like this in Chicago playing out. Agents facing unprecedented rises in threats and assaults, like what just happened in Dallas of this week. So we're getting our first looks now at newly released surveillance video from that attack in Dallas. And remember, one detainee was killed, 2 others were hurt. They were inside of a van like this, that's hard shell on the outside, no markings. Someone took fire at that and then turned the gun on himself. You can see on your screen now agents rushing to get those detainees to safety as the gunman was firing. The FBI revealed the suspect left the note claiming he did this to terrorize ICE agents. And officials say they believe there was a high degree of pre-attack planning. We're also learning more about what kind of app that this individual was allegedly using to track ICE agents' movements.
The shooter used the ICE tracking apps. Anyone who creates or distributes these apps that is designed to spot, track, and locate ICE officers are well aware of the dangers that they are exposing to law enforcement. It's a casting call to invite bad actors to attack law enforcement officers. It's no different than giving a hitman the location of their intended target. The media has been amplifying these apps even as we warned them it would only lead to more attacks on law enforcement. We truly wish we didn't have to say, "I told you so," but here we are.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt posted this on X. 3 months ago, CNN irresponsibly gave free publicity to an app that recklessly shares the location of ICE agents. It has now been revealed the leftist lunatic shooter who opened fire on the Dallas ICE facility was using one of those apps. Arthel.
Listen, President Trump won on immigration, and there are a lot of Americans who want to get this illegal immigration under control, understandably. I'm wondering, as we're seeing this play out, you were just covering for your last hour what was happening in Illinois, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous for ICE agents. It's dangerous for communities. And so I wondered, because all of you, I'd like to ask the question, which is, what do you think can be done so that the president can execute what it is that he won on and keep the ICE agents protected, as well as the community, so innocent bystanders, if you will, are not hurt?
Well, I have one thought. When it comes to the lawmakers, we have to see a bipartisan pushback on this. A censure would be nice. When you're hearing people like Ilhan Omar and right? I see you nodding, Larry. I mean, her recent comments. When you're hearing that, it's hate. Mm-hmm. And, it's a different calculation of how far you can go in an elected body. They do have some tools inside Congress, because when it's driven from that high power seat on Capitol Hill, it gets into the bloodstream of people who want to do wrong anyway. They think that they are vindicated in whatever decisions they're making to put other people at harm.
The left has made this the big battle. Political battle, cultural battle, you name it. This is the heart of the battle against ICE agents who are trying to throw illegal immigrant criminals out of the country. And the left decides it's going to defend the illegal criminals rather than help it. So fascism, Hitlerism, Nazism, name-calling of the worst kind, that in turn leads to violence, and the violence begets violence. This is what the left has done. Look at the polls, you know. I just saw this, 22%. This is a Washington Post poll, right? That great conservative news organ. 22% favor Trump on crime. This has even become, this is no longer just an immigration issue. This has become a crime issue. Because, as I say, the violence begets violence. And these politicians, lawmakers, they don't care. They're just going to go and they knock down ICE. ICE is an important law enforcement agency. Always has been, always will be. And it's being very well run by Tom Homan and by DHS Secretary Kristi Noem under the president's aegis. I mean, they won't. This is the battle. Every single day, almost every single day, some politician comes out with some swear word, Hitlering, fascism, because of, guess what? ICE.
But there is a mechanism of accountability.
They want to defend illegals, and they've decided that's how they're going to go after Donald Trump. And it is such a loser for the Democratic Party and the left. It's an incredible loser for them.
Look, the Democrats are abdicating their duty now. I mean, this is easy to call hate what it is and to move against speech like that you know is irresponsible to spew from a high elected point. That would. But I liked what Arthel was asking about. What other things can be done at this point? Because the president has the law on his side.
Right.
But look at the screen from moments ago. I mean, can we show when everything was popping off not long ago? This is Broadview, Illinois, outside of Chicago. Federal agents having to really unload with non-lethal weaponry to push that angry physical crowd back and hold that line. It's been more than an hour that they've had to hold the line. Tommy.
Right. I will say this. People are still signing up to do these jobs. It's a testament to them and what they want to do for their communities. It's also a testament to this administration having their back, because they don't want to deal with this, but they will if they have a president that has their back, and they have Tom Homan and they have Kristi Noem, and they know they're being supported. I'd also say this, though, to your point about these lawmakers that are making these comments, Nazi, fascist, Hitler, all of these things. You all make the laws. These ICE agents that are going out there for not a lot of money, leaving their families each day, putting themselves in harm's way, they are enforcing the laws that you all make. And you're demonizing them? They're out there on the front lines enforcing what you all enact. So if you don't want these laws on the books, then try to change them. But they know they can't change them because they know they just got shellacked in an election where, to your point, immigration and illegal immigration was top issue for most voters. They know they can't change the hearts and minds of the American people who voted on this very thing. So this is what they resort to.
And the rhetoric. Don't forget the rhetoric. The rhetoric leads to violence.
Emily.
Yeah, and Tommy, I love that you brought up that point. Just this month, Democrat Congressman John Larson calling ICE Gestapo. Why instead wouldn't he use his microphone to say, here's how I want the laws changed, sir. Do your job instead of contributing to the violence. And of course, we don't have time in the hour to list all of the ways that, Michelle Wu and Gavin Newsom and other elected officials have absolutely demonized ICE. And the other thing that would be laughable if there weren't lives at stake is that these are the same people that go out there and say, like, Black Lives Matter first, and I'm the white person that represents only Black people in my community. I'm the best person to be the mouthpiece for them, et cetera, right? And they say that ICE is some type of racist organization. It's anti-Latino, it's anti-Mexican, et cetera. But who do you think comprises ICE? It's actually a very diverse agency that represents people of a multitude of countries and ethnic origins and religions. So when they're demonizing ICE and when they're putting a face to it that is categorically different and totally separate from, as they always try to do, siloing, if you have this skin color, then you must vote a certain way and you must feel a certain way. And if you come from this country, you must feel a certain way.
Don't have to get any argument from me on that.
But all of those countries are what ICE comprises because they are Americans and their lives are on the line. And when we saw that footage you showed earlier, the frightening behind the scenes of those poor immigrants who, by the way, are being rightfully taken out of this country because they have criminal summons.
You mean
and
at
more.
the Dallas ICE detention?
Correct.
Right.
Shackled by their ankles and by their wrists because some waste of flesh took it upon himself to shoot up and then hits them and kills them. Like, it was so gut-wrenching to me to see. And then with these ICE agents trying to save them, everyone working together as humans to save lives. That's what ICE is doing, is trying to save and preserve families and lives by getting these guys safely out of the country instead of in the hands of cartels.
If I can add one quick thing, you know, just hearing the name calling, the words, I'm just tired of name calling, period. And I'm tired of lines of demarcation when it comes to color. Really quickly, last point, the only colors that matter if we can rally around red, white, and blue. That's all I have to say.
Hey, I want to ask our team in the booth, because I was just watching, we have got a big monitor, and moments ago, did you see that out of the corner of your eye? So this is a line that they're holding in Broadview, Illinois. I don't know if they'll pop it up on the screen, if we can roll it back. Roll it back like 10 seconds, guys. You'll see a guy in an orange sweatshirt bending down, doing something obnoxious with his backside toward this line. I mean, they are taunting the federal agents. They were leaning in earlier physically, and now there's quite a distance between the federal agents and the rioting protesters who showed up. Right? Now, look how big that space has gotten now between them. And this guy walks into that empty space and was doing, I won't even really describe it anymore, but you could have seen it, and then it needed no words.
Then he should be charged with indecency. I'm only imagining what you're saying. Then there's a charge for that.
So I wanted to ask you if that's the point. But, Emily, when you've been told to disperse and you don't disperse, that's against the law.
Yes, it is. Because your freedom of your right to freedom of speech and your right to freedom to assembly, that there's always a boundary for that. And so once that line has been crossed and you've been ordered to disperse, or you're breaking a curfew or et cetera, then yes, you are breaking the law, and that can lead to your arrest and accountability. It is not an infinite right. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.